everyone. You're welcome again to the Absolute You Talk Show. My name is Deborah. Good day, and I have with me.
Like Befilo for Favor.
Good to have you again.
Thank you.
Woohoo. All right, guys. I would have said that you all should guess the topic for today and begin to put in a comment section, but that's going to take our time. But our topic for today is how your priorities define the kind of a woman that you are. This is an amazing topic. So we're going to start from you. You know what? Because before we started this, she was telling me that, this topic, she loves it a lot. So we're going to hear from her. What's your own take? What do you think?
Well, I think being in for a very long time, I've always planned myself. Before my day starts, I make sure I plan myself. Before the year starts, I plan myself. Before the month starts, I plan myself. I have different planners. I have a yearly planner, I have a monthly planner, and I have a weekly planner, I have a daily planner, and it's something that has been with me, something that I've grown up with. And when I saw this topic, I'm like, whoa, this topic is really for me, and I was like, I'm so excited for this.
Thank you so much for giving that. Yeah, okay, so she really said a lot, really amazing on priorities, and it's good that we have someone that really takes setting her time and planning it. It's good we have that person on the show today. But when I'm talking about priorities of a woman, I mean the thing that defines the kind of a woman you are. What's your focus as a woman? Yeah. I wish, we saw our audience live, would have thrown the question, like, can you just tell me, like, what is your focus as a woman? One of the things that I took note of what happened for this show, for this episode was, you have to set your goal first before you can now begin to define the priority. I don't know if you agree with me.
Yeah, I get
you. You have to set the goal. I know we've been saying conversantly in the previous episodes, what kind of a woman are you? What kind of a woman do you want to become? That would help when it comes to setting your priorities. And what do I even mean by this thing we are saying, priority? What comes first in your life as a lady? It's not just enough to, I'm going to spend all the money that I have on makeup. There are women like that. That, I'm doing everything to make sure that I get, I have the best look so that I can have the best guy for the year that will sponsor me. Where, it's when you even define the kind of woman that you will be able to channel, channel your resources into. And so you spend all of the money on, cosmetics. You spend all of the money on shoes. You spend all of the money on designers. They are good, yeah. But that's not all it takes to be an absolute woman. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So what comes first in your life? Economics is a topic,
Scale of preference.
I don't know. Yeah, scale of preference. What comes first? The one that comes the most and the one that comes at the least. So you have to learn how to arrange yourself. So, what do you think should come first, in the life of a lady?
I feel everybody has their different aspects in life. There are some that are still in school, there are some that are married, there are some that are still working. And everybody has their goal, everybody has what they want to be and what they are doing currently. But when you talk about a lady, it's so big, it's so broad because everybody's in different areas of their life. For a university student, it would be getting a very high goal, getting a high CGPA, getting maybe a first-class degree. For a working class woman, it would be achieving this certain amount or achieving this certain amount by the end of the year. For a married woman, maybe it is having an additional person in your family, or maybe anything. I'm not married, so I can't even go deep into it. But everybody has a goal. My goal currently is let me keep it for now. Everybody has different goals, so you need to ask yourself that question: what do I want to achieve? What I want to achieve by this time? Because every goal must have a duration for the time you are going to start and the time you are going to end. So when do I want to achieve this? When am I going to start achieving this? And what is the set time that I've put for me to finish achieving this goal?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ife. Honestly, when she was talking about the different phases of the life of a woman, for me, I believe that there's one thing that stood out to me, and that is success. Yeah. From a time when you were in primary school, you were a child, and you're like, I want to do well in my academics. At least primary school is still academia. So from primary all the way to uni, it's academics. So even when it comes to relationship with those different phases, anything really, the goal is, I want to be a successful person. Yes. And you get to that place in your career as well. You're aiming for the top.
Yeah.
You get to marriage, you're aiming for the best for your family, a comfortable life. It's success. I feel the goal of every lady should be to thrive toward success. And when it comes to success, everybody wants to be successful, but only few do so much to work towards that success. It takes a lot of factors. And one of the things I believe that success, you have to be a balanced person, and you are eager, you are also intentional, you are hardworking. And that's why I'm talking about, priorities, that, you are at a particular phase of your life. Maybe you are in the university, your priority as a lady, not just even a lady, but for every single person, is that I just want to be a very successful person. I'm aiming for the top. I want to be great at this. So define, what you want to, like we said before, define your goal. Set your goal. What is it? What are you aiming for as a lady, and how do you want to present yourself as a woman? I know we've asked this question before, but I want to be more detailed on it. Like, priorities. What do you think, like, should be, what are some of these priorities that, you feel like, we should set as women? Like, is there a list or a range that you want to give, you want to share?
Like I mentioned before.
Sorry, like, in the line of that area of success, like we said, every person should desire to be successful and to be at the top. So, what are some of those things, that would help in achieving success, the priorities? Now that we know that it's success, like, what some of those things that we should make our priority? Yeah.
Okay, there's when you asked me that question, the first thing that came to my mind was this WhatsApp message my mom sent to me some time ago, and it contains the things that you are meant to teach your daughter, the things she needs to do so that when she grows up, she won't do things contrary to that. And the first thing that I saw was, your daughter, she should learn to be successful. She should not depend on anybody. She should depend on herself. And that thing got me thinking that is a very nice goal that I can set. That should even be the top, because when you talk about success does not just talk about money. It can talk about being the best in your class. It can talk about gaining promotion. It can talk about starting a company. It can talk about any billions. And when I was like, okay, this is quite deep. Because when I first saw, because she sent it twice, the first time she sent to me, like, I don't have much knowledge on priorities. And like, okay, I was just reading, and like, okay, let me just read, and in case she asks me, I can just answer. But then when I went back to it and I read it again, like, wow, that this is so deep. Because when you talk about success, every woman should have it as the top of her list. As a woman, you have to be successful. You don't have this mentality that you need to depend on another person. I can't remember, but there was this trend that happened, and it's a sound. It's something. If if anything should happen, I will marry a rich man. Have you heard of that? All those things university students usually say. They'll say, what is it called? If they give you. If you have the option of dropping out from school, what would you do? Like, I don't care. Maybe it's just to marry a rich man at this point. And I'm just like, that is a very wrong mentality a woman should have. You as a woman, that is a very wrong mindset. You need to consider yourself. You need to place priority on yourself, that I must be successful. Like what we talked about in self-care.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to think about yourself first before even branching into any other thing, branching into talking about I want to marry a rich man and everything. Think about yourself, develop yourself, then see where you can go to in the future. Success is a very important point.
Yeah, I love the word you used, developing yourself, and that's another focus for every woman. Be intentional about growth. Be very intentional about growth to the young ladies out there, and we. Be very intentional about growing and developing yourself. Don't remain there. Like I said before, when it's just to wake up, some of the things that we watch and some of the people that we call influencers at times, just looking at it on our devices, and we watch this thing just like and all the person does is just dress up, look good and all that. Some women, your priority really, you have conversation with some people and you can just see that all that is in this lady's mind is to have a guy, a boyfriend. I must have this brand of phone. I must get this particular bone straight, this inch. I must have all these things, and you look at them and you're just like, is that all? So that's why I believe that before we even begin to talk about this thing about priority, I believe that the first thing that would help is that understand who a woman should be. It's more of, like I said earlier, I'm going to emphasize again, your inner self, not just how you look. The focus of a woman and the priority of a woman, yes, should not just be on your outward look, how you look outwardly. And that's why we said your priorities define the kind of a woman that you are. And now we're talking about woman. Should it just be how you look outwardly? That's the thing. You can prioritize. Anybody can prioritize, honestly. Anyone. You can actually set your priorities and be like, this is me, first, second, third. Even cultists, they do my priority this year is to do this. Make sure I get to that man's house. I get this amount of money, and you see, do you understand what I'm saying? And sometimes, this is my mindset and understanding about wealth and money. Sometimes, if one is not careful, you can make you run into a lot. And you think that money is everything. So how do you say about people that are into fraudulent activity and are getting money? So what kind of, I'm not asking a question, I'm just saying what would you say about such a thing if money it's about the kind of a person that you are really. That will even determine how you handle money. That will determine how you what you're going to, yes, just how you, I don't want to speak too much on that, but woman is not just about outward, it's about inward. So make sure you set your priorities according to not just your outward, but who you really are on your inside. So we've said so much, we talked on that a lot. Let's move on to our question and discussion.
Yeah. So now we're going to be discussing how different priorities can influence our personal growth and identity. So do you want to say something about it?
Yeah, honestly, the priorities, we talked about it now, about how you go from different phases of life, career and what else would you say? So I think your school, career and social responsibilities, everything, it all becomes, it starts with you as an individual, like we would always say, what is your own goal? You have to determine. If you're that kind of a person that is just, for example, like I said before, some people think that they'll be youths, you'll be a youth forever. If that's the kind of a person that you are, you will just be there and you're waiting for life. You just jam at any time. So at that point, you're not even thinking far. You have people that are in university right now and they're even having, they're into businesses. Some people right from 100 level, they're already writing and building up their CVs. And there are people that are in front of them, they don't have CV. So you see, this is a thing about the kind of person that you are and the kind of person that you have determined to be your priority. honestly speaking. So it all begins from you. It all begins from you and your orientation of life too. That's another thing. Your orientation, how do you even view life? I'll just be there, they're paying my school fees, I will stay there and do whatever I want to. Watch TikTok and you forget that time is flying. Like when we all entered into 100 level, I know our lecturers will say something. See, you don't have time, it's just 4 years and you are done. And it will go so fast. So from now, start planning. Yeah. And the school would also provide opportunities where you're going to, different organizations will come in, people will come and speak, they will organize different seminars just to build the mental capacity of students at times, so you can see far. So I believe it's about you. Your ability to see far as well would definitely help in how you plan and how you prioritize. These things would definitely flow. Like I said, when you build yourself from inward, they have a way of just flowing. The essence flows into every area of your life. If you are a person of priority, it means that you're a planned person and you are a visionary. Let me put it that way. So by the time when you have that in mind, definitely you won't struggle when it comes to the area of career. It will flow because it's been part of you. It's a habit. So you will not struggle with it. It's just like, when we start exams, you have been reading from time on. So when it comes to exam, you don't find it, you don't struggle when it comes to revision. So you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So there's no way that when you're a person of priority, it won't flow and influence other aspects of you.
Just add to what you said. There are different stages of life, different aspects of life, like you said, and priorities changes over due time because every aspect of life has different priorities, right? But how it can affect and how it can influence your personal growth. Let's take, for example, when we're still in primary school, secondary school, and university, our goal is to get a very high score, bring our result back, and make our parents proud, right? So at that point, that goal that you've prioritized, that goal that you've set up high above any other goal, you see that it begins to influence the way you think, the way you act, the way you do things, and your personal growth. You begin to grow. Your mindset begins to change because because your goal is to be the best in your class. So that means that what you need to do to achieve this goal, you need to listen in class, you need to do well in your tests, you need to do well in your exams. So as you're listening in class, as you're reading so that you can do well in your test and exam, you begin to know that, okay, this that my teacher said, okay, I don't think I can learn it anywhere. And you learn it, and it affects your mindset, it affects your growth and everything. So different stages in life and your goals in different stages in life can influence you positively. It depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to study hard, you see the difference in your personal life that yes, you are growing more, you are becoming more intelligent, you are becoming more understanding towards certain stuff and towards certain occasions and situations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was wonderful, Ife. Really grateful for that. So I think we're going into tips for setting priorities. One of the tips that I would recommend, like I would always say, first of all, the first ever tip for anything on the Absolute You Talk show is always, first of all, sit down, get a book, and write down what kind of a woman do I want to become. That would help you. That would help and influence your decision making. Definitely it would. So I believe that when we're talking about tips, when it comes to the priorities, I think it's tips that would help you developing yourself. Now that we understand that the priority for every woman should not just be how I look beautiful outwardly, but also from within. How do I look from within? Okay, so I will mention, like, in response to developing yourself, get books, read wide, guys, read wide and expand your knowledge. Like I said before, right from when you there's different people with different categories with different priorities and different goals. You see 100 level student that already seen as self-convocating. You see a 400 level student that is just a final year exam is here and you cannot see it. Let me just say this. A lot of times, when couples come to or marriage counselors come to speak on something to just advising on, marital, whatever. I don't mean for that. They will say this thing that, sometimes, you as a wife, you look at your husband and you say, my husband is an accountant. Me, I am into, what would you call it? I'm into, what would I say?
It's aviation.
Yeah, maybe I'm into engineering, and just like, or maybe let's say you are into an accounting and your husband is into engineering, and you just feel like, because my husband is not into engineering, I don't have any business with diving into and finding knowledge about engineering. There's something that marriage wives and people will know, counselors will always say that, you see, that thing is not good, because men love to talk. And if your husband is interested in, he loves his work so much, and when and the only opportunity that he has to talk about, his work that he loves and passion for his work, for his work, is only when he's outside of the home. And that means, and he comes into his own home, and you can't have that conversation. What do you think you are doing? Your husband can't speak with you based on what he loves. That's not too good, because you don't have adequate knowledge on that thing. So you see the importance of being sound in all areas. Thrive to be sound, thrive to be knowledgeable, expand your mental capacity. There's our former dean, some particular dean some years ago in CU. When he came to speak at the leadership summit, he said something. He said that one of the reasons why our rooms were with different courses was that we were able to reason with each other. Yeah. Accounting is with mass comm is with architecture, Aki is with four in a room like that. So you are able to reason with each other and expand, learn, and fintech and so that kind of a thing. So reading is a good tip. Be intentional about that. You have something to mention.
Yeah. And that tip is setting SMART goals. And I really love this. I remember when they gave me an opportunity to talk about this, and I was like, oh my goodness, I love this topic so much. Let me even first start with what SMART is. SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So let's go deeper, because this is a simple word that many people would think it is. But when you think deep about SMART, like there's something my dad will always say. My dad will always say, learn to be smart. Don't work hard, work smart. And when you think about it, it all goes down to setting SMART goals. Now, when you're setting goals, you don't just, for a university student, your goal is to achieve a 5.0, and you just leave it like that, bam, you're not doing anything. That is not smart. When you want to set a goal, yes, I want to achieve 5.0, be specific about it. What do I need to do to achieve that 5.0? You put it down. I'm going to be reading 4 hours every day. I'm going to be reading so notes per day and everything. Then break it down. Be creative with it. Break it down. Another one is make it measurable. Measure, like, as much as having a 5.0 and things you can put under it, it's so large. Let's pick the important ones and put it under your specific goal. Achieve 5.0. Pick the important things you need to do to achieve that 5.0 and put it there. And that one is also make it achievable. Goals that when you see, you don't feel disinterested, you don't feel motivated. When you say, like, I can do this. It's 4 hours, right? Even just to set a timer and I'm done with it. Make it look easy, make it look simple, make it look achievable. And that one is to make it relevant. Set your goals in a way that it is relevant to your life at that point. It's not as if you're a university student and your goal is to get a car by the end of this year. That it is not relevant. You will not even want to do it. And by the time you get to the end of that year and you say that, you start feeling bad because it was not relevant to you at that point. And that one is to make it time bound. Always put a start and a end date for each goal, so that you know that I'm starting this time and I'll make sure I end. And when you see that the end time is coming, you will feel more gingered up to do it perfectly and achieve it, so that when you get yes, I did it, I'm proud of myself, I did it, and you get motivated to do more goals and more specific goals that you have, more priorities that you set for yourself.
Thank you so much for defining SMART. It was beautiful. Thank you very much. Specific, relevant. Thank you for that acronym. Okay, so I think because of time, we'll go straight away to our
Discussion.
question and answer session. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned. All right. Welcome back again to our show. All right, so we'll be going into the next segment, our question and answer.
Now the next question comes from Miss Favor, and it says, what if my priorities conflict with my responsibilities?
All right, so I think when it comes to this question, I mean, why are my priorities conflicting with my own responsibilities? Well, your priorities should align with your responsibilities. There should be a flow. So if your priorities are conflicting with your responsibilities, I think you should check what you are doing. Yeah, you have set a goal for yourself that, oh, this is the kind of person that I want to be. I want to have, like you said, smart goals. I want to achieve this particular grade or something. If you're in university and you are doing something else, you are into now you are now you're facing a responsibility that is completely different from your goal. So I think you should check that and work around it and strike a balance. What do you want to achieve? You can't be doing too many things, so stay in one place. Focus. That's one thing about priority. You have to be focused. So you have to also know what you want. So tell yourself, what do I want? And also be focused on that. Thank you. Next question. For Ms. Tola, a question says, what strategies can I use to maintain, my priorities? Just keep being focused. Keep at it, the goal. Keep it simple and just keep looking at, just keep being focused at the goal. The most important thing is that you have a goal. If you don't have a goal, that'll be a problem. So you have a goal, so be focused. How can I maintain my priorities? Like you say, you are going to the mall today, isn't it? And what would help you when you are in that place is the list that you have made. When I'm going shopping with my mom, she will say something that if it's not on your list, do not get that thing. We are working with our list today. So in other words, in this context, your list is the list is your goals. So just stay focused on it. You have set the priority. Scale of preference will say according to the most important to the least important. And so focus on it. So arrange your life in that way. You sit down with yourself and settle what comes first, what is this, and stay focused. That would really help. All right.
It's like I just want to add, like you can go back to the tips like we mentioned, identify your core values and also use SMART goals. But you also need to actually do self-reflection, like Debbie mentioned. You need to go back, reflect on yourself. What can I do to prioritize? What can I do to maintain my priorities and everything? And also learn to say no, because we're in this world where anything can happen. You never know what to pop up at any time. But when you know that, okay, this problem or this matter that just came up, does it align with my priorities? Will it make me maintain my priorities? When you think about it and you see that it is no, learn to say no. Say no, I'm sorry, but this does not go in plan with what I have today. It does not go in plan with my agenda, so no, I can't do that. Learn to say no. Although it might sound mean, it can sound mean, but if you put it in a way that the person asking you that question and the person seeking help will make like the person seeking help will feel, okay, yes, I can see that this person has things to do and she won't be able to help me at this point. So learn to say no and also practice self-reflection at all times. And the last question is from Mrs. Uche, and it says, how do I inspire others to prioritize their values?
This question I think is very, very simple. Last time we had our host, my co-host Praise, she said something that, it starts with you. You have to, be an example. That's the best way to inspire people. They can see it in you, and sometimes you have to. Sometimes they can say that it's eating them. Somebody like, I want to really have a conversation with this lady. How are you going about it? How are you living such an organized life? And before you know it, you're already inspiring. So it begins with you. Make sure that becomes your lifestyle priority. Make sure that you begin to live that life. All right. So I think that's it.
Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment on our YouTube page. That is the Absolute You. And also make sure you send in your questions on our WhatsApp number so we can take it and answer any any problem that you're facing or any issue that you want us to address. We're so sorry for not taking all questions today. We're trying to beat time, but I hope that you understand. Thank you. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.